This video is for informational and educational purposes only. All information presented is based on publicly available sources, including news reports and public records. The individuals mentioned are referenced solely in the context of reporting factual events. Any images or video clips used are stock footage and are intended for illustrative purposes only. The people shown in this video have no connection to the actual events or individuals discussed. No harm, defamation, or misrepresentation is intended. Viewer discretion is advised due to sensitive and potentially disturbing content. It was a night like any other in Moscow, Idaho, a quiet, close-knit college town where safety seemed certain. But on November 13, 2022, that sense of security shattered. 4 young students were brutally murdered in their off-campus home. The crime was not just horrifying, but deeply perplexing. Who could commit such an atrocity? And why? This is the chilling story of the Idaho College Student Killings, a case that captured national attention, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and shattered lives. Moscow, Idaho, a picturesque town nestled in the rolling hills of the Palouse region. Home to just over 25,000 people, it's a place where everyone knows everyone. The University of Idaho, with its historic buildings and vibrant campus life, is the heart of the community. For many, this town was a safe haven. But in the fall of 2022, that sense of safety was shattered forever.
Moscow is the kind of place where you don't lock your doors. It's peaceful. The university brings in a lot of life, but it's still a small town. This kind of violence, it's unthinkable here.
The murder spree began in a neighborhood known for its tranquility and close-knit families. The victims were all University of Idaho students, beloved by their peers and families alike. The choice of victims in such a peaceful setting raised immediate alarms, challenging the community's perception of safety. Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, 4 bright, vibrant lives, each with their own dreams and futures. Kaylee and Madison, best friends since childhood, were inseparable. Xana was known for her infectious laughter, and Ethan, always smiling, was loved by many. Their lives were full of promise, yet in a single night all of that was taken away.
They were all so full of life. Kaylee was excited about graduating, Madison had plans to travel, Xana was so fun to be around, and Ethan was just pure joy. I still can't believe they're gone.
Their sudden disappearance left families and friends in disbelief. Questions quickly arose about what could have driven someone to target such innocent and beloved individuals in their community. On the morning of November 13th, 2 surviving roommates woke up to an unimaginable scene. The bodies of their friends were discovered on the 2nd and 3rd floors of the house. The horror quickly escalated when law enforcement realized the brutality of the crime. There was no sign of forced entry, no clear motive, only questions.
The absence of forced entry suggests that either the perpetrator was known to the victims or the door was simply unlocked. This points to a calculated risk, or perhaps familiarity. But the level of violence indicates something deeply personal or disturbingly random.
As investigators began piecing together the crime scene, the town of Moscow descended into fear. Doors that were once left unlocked were now bolted shut. A killer was out there, and no one knew who or why. The Moscow Police Department quickly launched a full-scale investigation. But with limited resources, they called in assistance from the Idaho State Police and the FBI. The public demanded answers, but the investigation seemed slow and methodical. Rumors began to spread. The lack of suspects or leads only fueled fear and speculation.
In cases like this, law enforcement has to be careful. If they release too much information, they risk compromising the investigation. But staying silent can lead the public to assume they're not doing enough.
Investigators sifted through hours of security footage, conducted dozens of interviews, and processed forensic evidence. Yet weeks passed without an arrest. Who could have committed such a calculated, violent act and left no trace? Moscow was gripped by fear, Students withdrew from classes, parents demanded answers. The university increased security, but trust was shattered. For the first time in decades, this peaceful town was living in fear.
No one feels safe anymore. People are locking their doors, sleeping with lights on. It's like the entire town is holding its breath.
The pressure on law enforcement intensified. But behind the scenes, investigators were quietly piecing together evidence that would soon lead them to a shocking suspect. As the investigation progressed, a potential suspect emerged, someone unexpected. Brian Kohberger, a criminology PhD student at Washington State University, became the focal point of the investigation. According to the criminologist and CBS News consultant Brianna Fox, the defense is claiming that the defendant, Brian Kohberger, and the victims have absolutely no connection. There's no motive. There's no reason for this crime to take place. So essentially, it's raising additional doubt in jurors' minds. Forensic psychologist V.O. Kohberger exhibited behaviors that were both controlling and obsessive. His interactions with the victims suggested a deep-seated resentment and a desire to dominate their lives. There is no evidence that Kohberger's history was marred by mental health issues and previous run-ins with the law. But 9 years before he was accused of killing 4 college students in Idaho, Brian Kohberger was arrested in his native Pennsylvania and charged with misdemeanor theft for allegedly stealing his sister's iPhone, according to records reviewed by ABC News. After months of tireless investigation, a breakthrough came in the form of digital and forensic evidence. DNA evidence found on a knife sheath left at the crime scene and cell phone records began to paint a clearer picture of Brian Kohberger's involvement in the murders. Digital forensic specialist V.O. The DNA evidence recovered from the knife sheath was a pivotal breakthrough. Additionally, Kohberger's phone records revealed his presence near the victim's home on multiple occasions before the murders. Forensic analysis revealed that Kohberger had been surveilling the area, making repeated trips near the victim's residence in the weeks leading up to the murders. His actions appeared calculated, reflecting a chilling level of premeditation and intent. With mounting evidence against him, law enforcement moved swiftly to apprehend Kohberger in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania, following evidence that linked him to the crime scene. On a chilly evening in December 2022, Kohberger was taken into custody without incident, marking a pivotal moment in the case. Criminal lawyer V.O. Kohberger's arrest was the culmination of diligent work by law enforcement. The collaboration between Idaho and Pennsylvania authorities was essential in securing his capture. Upon his arrest, Kohberger maintained his innocence, denying any involvement in the murders. But the weight of the evidence was overwhelming, setting the stage for a legal battle that would grip the nation. The trial of Brian Kohberger is scheduled for June 2024, drawing intense media attention and public interest. The courtroom became a stage where the intricate details of the murders were meticulously dissected. Prosecutor V.O. The DNA evidence and surveillance footage directly linked Brian Kohberger to the murders of these 4 innocent students. His actions were deliberate, cold, and calculated. Defense attorney V.O. My client maintains his innocence. We intend to challenge the validity and interpretation of the evidence presented against him. Witnesses took the stand, recounting details of Kohberger's behavior and activities before the murders. Forensic experts explained the significance of the DNA evidence and the phone data that placed Kohberger near the victim's residence. After weeks of testimony and evidence presentation, the moment of truth draws near. The jury deliberates, carefully weighing the evidence presented against Brian Kohberger. Judge V.O. Will the defendant, Brian Kohberger, please rise as the jury continues deliberation? The community watches closely, awaiting justice and answers. As of this recording, Brian Kohberger has not been convicted. All individuals are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. The families of Kaylee, Madison, Xana, and Ethan continue to seek justice, but the scars left on Moscow, Idaho, are deep and enduring. The community rallies together, supporting each other through grief and loss. Victim's family member, V.O. While we await justice, knowing that the community stands with us gives us a sense of strength. But the healing process is ongoing. The case has sparked nationwide conversations about campus safety, the warning signs of violent tendencies, and the importance of mental health support for students. University policies are being reevaluated, and discussions are underway about implementing new safety protocols to prevent such tragedies in the future. The harrowing tale of the Idaho College Student Killings serves as a stark reminder of the importance of vigilance, community support, and proactive measures in ensuring safety. Recognizing and addressing mental health issues can prevent individuals from becoming vulnerable to violent tendencies. Universities and communities must prioritize accessible mental health care and early intervention to identify and support those in distress. Implementing comprehensive safety protocols, including secure housing, emergency response systems, and regular safety drills, can help protect students from potential threats. Encouraging community members to be observant and proactive in reporting suspicious behavior is crucial. Building strong community ties fosters an environment where individuals feel supported and safe. Providing robust support systems for victims and their families ensures they receive the necessary resources to heal and rebuild their lives after tragedy. As we reflect on the Idaho College Student Killings, let it inspire us to be more vigilant, compassionate, and proactive in safeguarding our communities. By addressing mental health, enhancing safety measures, and fostering strong community bonds, we can honor the memories of those lost and prevent future tragedies. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the Idaho College Student Killings. Though the case continues, the lessons learned urge us to prioritize safety, mental health, and community support. May the memories of Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin live on, inspiring us to seek justice and support for those in need. Their stories are a call to action, to look out for one another and to ensure that no more lives are lost to such darkness. If you or someone you know is experiencing mental health challenges or feeling unsafe, reach out to a trusted authority or helpline. Help is available, and your voice can make a difference.